Now, unless you speak to your wife specifically about that prior to, especially when it's her friend, but then you have those situations where a friend may have her wakil or wali representative, or even sometimes may herself approach her friend's husband because she knows he doesn't have the maximum limit of 4, at least if you're practicing polygyny the way we practice it. Assalamu alaikum. Peace. I'm Coach Nazir, one of the founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships and one of the authors of the book, Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored. And I'm also the coach who helps people get their shift together. With that being said, we received a question from one of our subscribers. She wanted to know what I thought about something. So I figured, you know what? Why not have our Android ask the question to us? Yeah. By Android, I don't mean the phone. What I mean is an AI generated avatar. So let's have her ask on behalf of this subscriber now.
Coach Nazir, I'd like to know, what are your thoughts on husbands pursuing their wives' friends for marriage? Why or why not?
So, yeah, rather interesting question, right? And just like an answer to about 90% of the questions that come in, the answer is, it depends. Now, I'm not going to leave you hanging with that, but it really depends, because when you think about it, at least from what I've seen, it hardly ever works out. At least the friendship between the two women tends to die after that. All right. They were friends even when wives, approach a friend to go ahead and marry their husbands. They don't tend to necessarily work out, from experience with a number of my different clients and people that we know. There are situations where the marriages may work out, but the friendship kind of dies for one reason or another. So that's kind of our, practical, personal take on it. But I also understand that in general, okay? Now, can he pursue anybody whom you're not related to? Yeah, absolutely. For example, when a woman knows she has a good husband, she knows that women are attracted to that husband. Now, is that wise on a husband to do that? I say right from the beginning, no, not really. It's not at all. Now, unless you speak to your wife specifically about that prior to, especially when it's her friend, but then you have those situations where a friend may have her wakil or wali representative, or even sometimes may herself approach her friend's husband because she knows he doesn't have the maximum limit of 4, at least if you're practicing polygyny the way we practice it as Muslims. And the reason I say that is Islam is the only scripture that came and regulated and restricted polygyny to marry up to 4 women simultaneously. Now, for example, in this type of situation, it is not unheard of for a woman to want their husband to be married to someone else. All right, I remember celebrities saying that, if I could bottle my husband up and, sell him and let women really experience this pleasure and so on and so forth that he brings with love and kindness and support and everything, that she would do it. I thought it was a little weird. But then I came across a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where his wife, Habiba radiallahu anha, had wanted her sister to also marry the Prophet ﷺ, of course, practice polygyny. And he was kind of surprised. He was taken aback by it, and he asked her, your sister, you would want that? And she, of course, said yes. And she praised him and who he was as the best on the planet. She wants the best for her sister. But the Prophet ﷺ corrected her and let her know that a man cannot marry 2 sisters, 2 biological sisters at the same time. That's not allowed in Islam.
Hey, it's show and tell time. You see this? I got this when I was traveling with my family, my wives, and my children over the last couple of years. This is really kind of a coat of arms, if you will, a coat of honor. See, this is how Turkish soldiers used to pretty much dress and be down, or the leadership did, and you really can't see it necessarily unless you look really close. It has Arabic writing on it. Now, why am I talking about that? Am I trying to sell this? No, I'm not. This is mine. But what I am saying is that men used to be different. They used to go and strive and conquer and expand, all right? And it started with family. They had strong families. Many men had multiple wives. It's called polygamy. But today, even though it has a lot of answers for modern day problems, most have no idea what to do. So they cheat, they sneak around, they pay in, all kinds of crazy things, even though I believe men are polygynous by nature. With that being said, where can you learn about how to practice it in a healthy manner, where it's honorable? It raises the status of wives. It allows men to become more, as they should strive to be, more than twice the men. We need leaders. We need those who are serious about the family so that we can return to glory on whole nother levels instead of just having things as remnants of the past. So if you want to learn more about polygyny, then go to polygamyroadmap.com. Read the roadmap, understand how you can become more than twice the man, or how your wives or wife can also be part of that legacy. Go, polygamyroadmap.com. Hope to see you there. Sounds like peace.
Okay, so that's very important for those of you who are not Muslims or follow our Islamic faith. That is not allowed in Islam. But it is amazing, and he was quite surprised by that also, alayhi salam, that his own wife wanted him to marry her sister. Okay, so you really can't get closer than each other than biological sisters. So whether that's a sister or a friend or someone who's the husband, then you have some women who, reluctantly, want their husband to marry a friend or someone else because they know that they can benefit, and they kind of have to get around their own emotions or get over themselves, if you will, and want for the sisters what they want for themselves. Now, do I think it's necessarily the wisest choice? Not if you want that friendship to really last, because I haven't seen it last. And we know hundreds and been part of, hundreds and even sometimes thousands of people with contacting us, but hundreds of different clients and people that we know. And even just within 100 square mile radius, I've known of a situation like that where a sister went and picked, a friend that she wanted to marry her husband. They got married and so on and so forth. But as they got closer, and the husband told me, as they got closer to the marriage nikah date, which the wife even helped try to set up, things started to become sour, and there was friction between them. And he did marry her, and they have a family and so on and so forth. And they all had children, and they stay in the same, large building and area. However, they're no longer friends. They're almost at each other's necks. Okay. So that's just one situation of many where it doesn't tend to work out. The friendship part doesn't tend to work out. Now, again, I think that the husband, especially because that is a friend of your wife, if you're interested in something like that, you might want to talk to your wife first, because that is her friend. That affects and impacts her life differently than someone else who is not a friend. Again, do you have to? Nope. That's my advice from our experiences with working with different clients and so on and so forth. However, it all depends. So with that being said, prayerfully, you got some good stuff. If you have some questions for us that you want us to address maybe directly, or kind of find out our opinion on something that's not dealing with fiqh or Islamic jurisprudence, feel free to drop it. Now, if you made it to the end of this video, I would like to let you know that we appreciate you, because it helps us, it helps the algorithm and everything else. And what I want you to do is put artificial intelligence question in the comments. So artificial intelligence question in the comments. And if you have a question or something you'd like us to address, feel free to drop that. Also, we do read all the comments, even though they may not all be in agreement, which is fine. I mean, I don't agree with myself from 5 years ago. It's just called growth and development. So with that being said, remember, a wish changes nothing, but a decision changes everything. And I'm Coach Nazir signing off, the coach who helps people get their shift together. With that being said, Assalamu alaikum. Peace. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, and all that other YouTube stuff. And feel free to share. I'm out.